The Eagles apparently have a Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown problem. I don't know how those two elite players that just won a Super Bowl is a problem, but it seems like the media keeps putting it in our face that there is some sort of tension. So what we're going to watch is actually a few different things. We're going to watch a little bit of Jalen Hurts' post-game reaction to the absolute embarrassing loss to their long rivals. And then after that, shout out to my man KJ Speaks. We're going to watch his video he did on AJ Brown and kind of how we got in here. We're not going to watch the full thing. And in fact, we're going to start with like about the first minute of this. So let's check it out.
AJ, you guys had a ton of success on those first 3 drives. What do you think changed for the final 3 quarters? Did they make an adjustment? What did you see as to why you started to struggle on offense?
First off, hats off to them. They definitely made adjustments. I think in the second half, it was just a little lack of execution.
What were the adjustments they made?
It just makes up a lot of things on defense, and it kind of made it difficult. D-line got going. It was just made it tough for us.
The lack of execution, how frustrating was that? And are you talking specifically about like penalties and stuff?
I'm only talking about myself. I even had a false start. I got to be on the same page. And, hit a snap count and know the snap count, I should say. But it was just overall, it was just self-inflicted wounds.
You guys are on a silent count because of the allowance. So was that? I mean, obviously you guys have played here before. Was that different though, or
no? It was different. Sometimes the counts are they're different. Obviously you want to mix things up, and that one I got a little antsy.
What was I appreciate AJ Brown for having a lot of humility, taking some accountability there. Now a lot of people are arguing that he's only this calm because he got his 100-yard receiving, and there is an interesting little stat about how every game this year that Jalen or AJ Brown gets 100 yards, the Eagles lose, right? So, he gets what he wants. He gets what he's been, maybe complaining about, and the offense doesn't win. Now, is that a Kevin Patullo problem? Is that a Jalen Hurts problem? Is that an AJ Brown problem? I don't know, but we're going to hear just a little bit about what's it called? KJ Speak. Shout out to him. Go subscribe to him. Go watch the full video. We're just going to watch this Origin of the Fire as well as the Titans. Actually, we're going to watch Origin of the Fire. Then we're going to skip because I want to get into what's it called right here, the sideline blow-ups, right? So we're gonna watch this section and then go from there.
AJ Brown didn't grow up loud. He wasn't the kind of kid who walked into a room and demanded attention. In Starkville, Mississippi, he was more quiet than anything, reserved, respectful, kinda kept to himself, but put a ball in his hands and something flipped. He was fiercely competitive whenever a game was on the line. Even at 8 years old, playing youth basketball, his intensity showed. He once fouled out and angrily blamed the referee for the call, who funny enough ended up being his future high school teacher. That fire inside was evident early, but it was about to be forged by hardship, because that fire didn't come from nowhere. Around age 11, AJ world shifted, his parents split up, and the impact hit deeper than most people realize. He said it felt like his mom divorced him too. That kind of hurt don't just go away, it lingers. And for AJ, he started acting out in all the wrong ways. He failed the 7th grade, and that same year, he joined the GDs, a local gang. The reason being, he said he simply just wanted attention from his parents. He was hanging out with the wrong crowds and going down the path of destruction. AJ said he was doing things that could have got him serious time behind bars, but luckily never did.
I've been through stuff too. I sat in those seats. I didn't get in trouble with the police, God willing, but I made mistakes. And these mistakes that you all have made doesn't define you.
Then came a turning point. One of the OGs in his neighborhood pulled him aside and told him straight up, "Go play ball. This shit ain't for you." That was it. Simple, but it hit. Because AJ knew deep down, he didn't want the streets, he wanted purpose, and sports gave him that, gave him structure, a release, something to focus on instead of all that bottled up hurt. By high school is when he started turning heads, a late bloomer type. He didn't even play football his freshman year, got cut from the varsity hoop team and just kinda wandered. But once he laced up the cleats again, it was different. His coaches noticed right away, we gotta get this kid on the field, and not just for football. He was a star center fielder too, good enough to get drafted by the Padres out of high school.
Oh, you got drafted by the Padres. Was baseball your first love?
So I got drafted for baseball out of high school.
Oh,
so man. I had me a nice little check.
So you had a baseball game too.
Bread. Yeah, I got drafted 19th round by the Padres. College, I'll go out there in the spring, play rookie ball. Then I come back, in the summer, get ready for the Football.
But football is where he made his noise
actually
around
didn't know
town.
that,
From
but
his sophomore year to senior year,
he was a
he
dog
just
at
kept
Ole Miss,
improving. From 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, to just over 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns, and finished it off with 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns. And he went out the best way possible, a state champion.
I just wanted to win, to be honest. I didn't care what I had to do, so I do my best to get a win.
By his senior year at Starkville, the late blooming wide receiver had transformed into one of the state's most sought after recruits. But it all came down to the Big Four: Ole Miss, Alabama, Mississippi State, and Cal. But he decided to stay home.
The recruiting process has its up and down, but I'm sure the best is put in this situation.
Wait. I'm sorry. I hate to. Sorry, KJ speaks. Cal? Like, all of these make sense. Cal? Maybe someone's gonna have to comment down below. Is there like an elite wide receiver production out there? That is interesting to me.
But the next 3-4 years, taking my time to the University of Mississippi.
For him to be able to go.
And I want to add a little because I love me some Ole Miss wide receiver. What, Laquan Treadwell, AJ Brown, like the DK Metcalf. Like, there was a run of wide receiver. Ole Miss was wide receiver you there for a little bit. You know what I mean? So shout out
to the next level and just doing what he's loved. It's just an honor and a privilege.
And when he landed at Ole Miss, it felt like the perfect storm. He came in during the golden recruiting era. Lots of big names: DK, Trey Nixon, but AJ, he was the one who stood out. Right away, he was the guy. The offense ran through him, and he practiced with a chip on his shoulder big enough to flatten a tackling sled. Coaches said that he often practiced angrier than he played, channeling all that pent-up fire into every drill. The kid who once struggled to find his way now carried himself with a swagger born of hard work and a lingering hunger of silencing any doubters. Stat-wise, he cooked, broke records, all-time receiving leader at Ole Miss, 2,900 yards, most 100-yard games with 12, back-to-back Biletnikoff semifinalists, and in 2018, his junior year alone, he had 1,300 yards. That's not just talent, that's dominance.
Yo, so, I don't want to go too much on this. Make sure y'all go watch the video. Make sure y'all watch how the things go. I wanna see where it got nasty. Where is that? Sideline blow-ups. We're gonna watch this little section, and we're gonna get up out of here because this is the reality that we face, right? I have a lot of respect from AJ Brown because I've been watching him again since Ole Miss. I respect what he is. I respect he's a real alpha dog when it comes to being a receiver, right? Not just from his personality, but also with his production, right? It doesn't matter how amazing Skinny Batman is, and Devontae Smith is a dog. There's a different level of physicality that AJ Brown brings to the game that's always fun to watch. Now, does that physicality turn into something else? Let's see, because right now there's been some bickerings, there's been some conversations about who's throwing who under the bus. Is Jalen Hurts really a leader enough and stuff like that? So let's hear, how the origin of these situations started.
By the 2023 season, you could feel it. Something was off, and then all hell broke loose. Week 2, under primetime lights against Minnesota, AJ was caught on camera, obviously heated with Jalen Hurts. This wasn't just a diva tantrum for touches. It was a star receiver realizing something in the Eagles' offense was off. But the funniest part about this was Devontae Smith, who, when asked about this altercation after the game, he looked them reporters dead in their eyes and said, "I don't know what the hell y'all talking about."
Oh man, he gonna be alright, man. That's part of being a competitor, man.
What did you have to say to AJ and Jalen? I guess heat of the moment.
The conversations we have on the field are going to be private.
The media really wanted to blow this up, but to the team, it wasn't really that deep. But AJ just wanted to help the team, to feel involved. He finished with 4 catches for 28 yards.
First, I want to address what happened on Thursday, and I want everybody to understand that sometimes the emotions run high, and that's kind of what happened too. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean I'm beefing with Jalen. No, and also I want y'all to know, no, it was not about targeting.
The Eagles were winning, they were 2-0, but AJ, he was clearly heated. Not about one missed throw, not about a bad call. It was deeper than that. It was about rhythm, about respect, about a star receiver feeling something in the offense wasn't clicking the way it should. That was the first crack, but let's just say, after that blow up, the following week, he had 9 catches for 131 yards. Then another 9-catch game for 175 yards. AJ finished the season with another great year, 106 catches for 1,400 yards. But fast forward to late 2024 is when it all got wicked. The Eagles just barely beat the Panthers 22-16 to go 11-2, a great record on paper, but you wouldn't know it from the scene on the sideline. AJ was livid, slamming his helmet in frustration. To him, the win felt hollow. He had been targeted only 4 times all game for a measly 43 yards. In the post-game locker room, you could tell he was mad, and his answers went viral.
Offense wasn't good enough. What are some things you think that the offense needs to improve on? Passing. It seemed like there was a moment on the sideline when you threw your helmet into the bench. What prompted that reaction? 3 and out.
One word, sharp as a knife, that told his truth. Even Jalen Hurts looked unhappy despite the win, like a quarterback who knew they escaped despite the offense, not because of it.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. I think we did a bad job. That starts with me.
That helmet throwing soundbite will loop on sports shows for days, leaving everyone wondering, was AJ turning on his team? Was the passion turning poisonous? Or was it simply the truth?
I can respect the interview because he didn't throw the ball under the bus. Oh. If you said there's one thing we have to change about the Eagles' offense, it's the passing game. Yeah. I ain't got to call my teammate out. He threw for 100 yards.
Hey, for a team with Super Bowl aspirations and an offense loaded with playmakers, it was unacceptable to AJ. He wasn't content with quietly taking the win and ignoring the problems. If anything, the outbursts only underscored how badly he wanted the passing game to catch up to the rest of the team. And yeah, AJ knew this would stir things up. He even apologized later. Well, kind of. Said that he let his frustrations get the best of him and that it wasn't about any one person. But he didn't walk back on his message. We have a lot of talent on offense, but defense and special teams have been low-key carrying us, he said. He wasn't mad just to be mad. He was mad because he cares, because he knows what the team is capable of. And when the standard slips, he speaks up, even if it costs him. But if his raw emotions were the storm, the stats are the telling factor. The numbers that tell the story of why he feels the way he does. See, in 2022, his first year as an Eagle, he was a dog. 88 catches, 1,400 yards, 17 yards per reception. He was a big play machine, the kind of receiver who could break a game wide open in one shot. By 2023, on the surface, he was even more involved, a career high 106 catches, but the explosiveness slowed down. His yards per catch dialed back some to 13.7, and his efficiency dipped. In 2022, he averaged 10.3 yards every time he was targeted. In 2023, that fell to about 9.2. The offense shifted to more short stuff, more dinking and dunking, and AJ role changed. Then came 2024, a new offensive coordinator, a renewed commitment to the run game with Saquon now in the backfield, and a passing attack that often went missing. His yards per catch did bounce back up to 16.1, suggesting that when they did go his way, it tended to be deep. But here's the catch, the volume wasn't there. 67 receptions, that's it, for the entire regular season. Barely over 4 catches per game. It wasn't for the lack of trying on AJ's part. He still ran 358 routes that year. He would sprint downfield, play after play, doing the dirty work of a #1 receiver. But the ball too often went elsewhere or not anywhere at all. Even with the healthy target share, around 1/3 of the Eagles' passes, the overall pie was smaller. Philly simply wasn't throwing that much. So of course, the raw stats took a hit. One moment, he's a 1,400 plus yard game breaker. Then next, he's a decoy or a blocker, a part of a run game, and the defense steals the show. For a competitor like AJ, that roller coaster from hero one week to an afterthought the next, it was something he was not willing to get down with. And that's not just about volume. His average depth of target stayed high, over 12 yards. That means he was still being asked to stretch the field, take the hits, be the guy who makes the big plays. But the offense, it got conservative, safe, sometimes sloppy. And AJ, he was watching it all happen while knowing he could be the difference. He was doing his part, getting open down the sideline or over the middle. But were the connections happening? Not as often as he'd like. Meanwhile, defenses weren't about to let him run free. According to Next Gen Stats, his average separation from defenders at the moment of catch or attempt dropped from roughly 2.6 yards in 2022 to only 2.1 yards by 2024. In the most simplest terms, he was covered more tightly as teams honed in on him. Part of that is the respect he earned. Opposing secondaries knowing that he was that guy who can torch them, so he's drawing extra attention. But part of it might also be on the Eagles scheming. The offense wasn't finding creative ways to spring AJ open underneath. Instead, he often be battling a corner and a safety, fighting for any type of daylight.
I do want to talk about something that KJ speaks about. Y'all know I like to make reaction videos. I want to add a little flavor to it. Now, this isn't anything on a technical aspect. This is just something from my own personal mind of watching football, watching people make things about football, coaches and stuff like that. Something that great that KJ says, the offense wasn't getting creative in getting targets to AJ Brown. I want y'all to understand that an offensive coordinator's job is to ensure, look, to know what the defense wants to do to you, right, in response to what you want to do, and to find ways to circumvent that. I think the Lions do a great job of that, right? I think that's, I don't have to look that far to see, the way Amon-Ra St. Brown is using, the way David Montgomery is used, the way what's his name, Sonic is, the way Jahmyr Gibbs is used, right? You look at that offense, and every single week there seems to be, whether it's Ben Johnson or not now, with Dan Campbell there, you see different ways that Amar is getting the ball. You see different ways that Jameson Williams getting the ball. You see Jared Goff running routes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You see some more tight end integration. So, it's on the offensive coordinator on the offense to say, okay, well, if AJ is going to be our guy and we need to get him catches, how about we put him in the slot? How about we make him and I'm not saying that they haven't done this. I'm not saying, I'm not speaking on it right now. I'm just saying in general, right? How about we move him to the slot? CD Lamb does some of his biggest damage in the slot, right? You're closer to the quarterback. You can get underneath routes. You can get those easier targets. If a blitz comes, a lot of time your immediate response is right there, someone very close to you, right? So maybe do that. Maybe, hey, how about use motion to get AJ Brown open? Again, Eagles fans, I'm not saying that's not happening. I'm just saying that there needs to be, when you have somebody as dynamic as AJ Brown, right, you need to get him open. It's interesting when you have an AJ Brown, Devontae Smith action where they need to almost be decoys for each other, right? It needs to either be, hey, one guy's going to get these these touches and another one isn't. Or, hey, AJ, today, this game, you're going to be the guy that takes the top off. Hey, we're going to motion you out. We're going to find ways to not let these, not let these corners, not let these safeties, not let brackets happen, not let him get covered so easily, right? So I think that's a great comment when he said, like, hey, what is the offensive coordinator going to do to silence this? Because we can say Jalen Hurts all day long, but if you scheme up the ball towards AJ Brown, then at that point there shouldn't be any issues, right?
You're running 40 yards at full tilt, only to see the ball sail elsewhere or the play call not even give you a chance. That'll mess any wide receiver up.
Me personally, I truly believe, man, we got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative.
Still, despite the dip in raw production, let's make one thing clear. AJ remained elite. Underutilized at times, sure, but his talent undeniable. And
talent undeniable. I think AJ Brown is a true wide receiver one. I'm not watching all this video because, please go watch the video. He goes deeper into the whole, I don't know if y'all know about the situation with the Twitch streamer and him out there saying that he needs more targets and stuff like that. There's been a lot going on, right? And I really want y'all to know. First off, go check out KJ Speaks. I'm already subscribed. I like KJ Speaks. He go crazy. Watch his full video to get the full story there. But yeah, I just want to talk about it. Do y'all think there's a real issue? Is there trouble in paradise for the Philadelphia Eagles? Can they repeat? I know they're 8-3 or something like that. They have a decent schedule, but losing the way they lost to the Cowboys, to their bitter rivals, probably ain't a good taste in the mouth. But y'all let me know how you feel down below. Comment down below if there's another type of content you want to see. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Be great, be phenomenal. We'll see you next time. Peace.